Hey.
Check.
What is up? Hello.
What
hello.
is up, guys?
Hi. Welcome.
This is an amazing feeling. First and foremost, I wanted to thank everybody who came out tonight. It's super surreal. I told a couple people that because at first it was like I was very afraid to release my music. You know, throughout high school, I was giving out mixtapes and things, and I didn't get the best of feedback. I mean, obviously, I wasn't the best artist at that time, but it left an imprint on me. And to be able to release a project and get this much love and just like support on it is a surreal moment. So thank you guys. I appreciate it so much.
Oh yeah, give yourselves a hand.
So this is going to be a live taping of the Earspace Podcast. It is currently being recorded. We're just going to intro it real quick, and then we're going to jump right onto these questions. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Earspace. This is going to be a live recording here at the Modern Art Vinyl Church here for After Midnight. We are joined by...
www.
What's up, man? And of course, we have a co-host here of Ian Corneli.
Hello.
What's good?
I'm having a blast.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I felt like I needed to bring you guys along to spice it up a little bit.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So we got a couple questions here that we totally prepared. After Midnight is the name of the record.
Yes, sir.
What is After Midnight for you?
So this project, I feel like it really it encapsulates where I'm at right now, but also I'm at this point where when it comes to projects, I don't really like playing for projects. So I just make music and I put songs together that have the same feeling or the same tone of music. I released the Gemini Saga a while ago, and I feel like that was kind of showing the dichotomy of who I am, right? So like Wednesday and Alex, a lot of people in here know me as both. Yeah. But you can kind of see the difference in each of them. But I'm a Gemini, so that's how it goes. Certain parts of my personality come out in different situations. So for After Midnight, I feel like it was almost a roll-off of Gemini Saga, where I've grown to be this artist. I've grown to be this man that has overcome a lot in my own life, has healed from a lot, and now I'm kind of taking on this new spiritual journey.
Gotcha. Very cool. And I know from working with you, you very much prefer the mornings. But I was curious if there was anything tied into the After Midnight title of the song, or excuse me, the record itself.
Yeah, so at first, these records were just records that I felt like should be played after midnight. Like, I feel like they were very late night records.
Okay.
So like you're taking a cruise, you're smoking, you're chilling in your car or whatever, and you're on your way home. It's that type of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But it came to be like I told you, I'm on this like new spiritual journey of like just finding myself. I have a beautiful girlfriend now since Gemini Saga, and like at this point, it's just a new space for me. I feel like that spiritual journey for me has coincided with like I was born at 12:01 midnight.
Okay.
Right a minute after midnight. So I feel like without even knowing that, subconsciously that played into this whole After Midnight project. So yeah.
Interesting. Ian, you got one for us?
Yeah, sure do. So, as well as the album release tonight, we're also going to be doing a screening of your short film, The Gemini Saga. I have a couple questions around it. Like, we touched on it a little bit earlier today, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about like your involvement with the project, where the idea came from, and like the team that you reached out to create this beautiful short film that we watched earlier is very sick. And like, can we expect an After Midnight short film to follow this, and sort of how it all ties in with what After Midnight is in relation to the Gemini Saga?
That was a lot, bro.
I know, I'm sorry.
So, first question.
Yeah, how did you come up with the idea of the short film?
The Gemini Saga.
And then, in constructing the team that you put together to create the project.
So, Gemini Saga came together very organically, like super organically. I actually was going to do a music video for my record Hotspot with a good director of mine, a good friend of mine. Media DAC, and we were talking about the ideas that we can go for hotspot, and we're like, we're gonna do this and that. And then my manager at the time, I don't have a manager anymore, but my manager at the time was like, why would you work on something that you've already released when you have this whole project coming out in the next few months? I'm like, yeah, I guess you're kind of right. So point. I had the Gemini Saga just like in my pocket. And I'm like, okay, so let me focus around the Gemini Saga. Like, what does the Gemini Saga mean to me? Like, how deep can I dive into it? So I presented that to DAC, and I'm like pitching some ideas. And at first I just wanted it to be like a 3-part commercial where I kind of displayed the songs in different ways. But it ended up snowballing and like becoming this film that I never would have anticipated that I was making.
Hell yeah.
So getting the team together was organic as well, because I work with another good friend of mine, Yaslin Perez. She's really dope with the camera work. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of her work, but she's amazing.
I've not, but check it out.
So I told Dak, I was like, hey, I have another director that we can get in on this, and maybe we can just make it a bigger thing than what we even think it could be. So that was super organic and a snowball effect. And here we are months after us getting on Clubhouse at the time. Clubhouse was the popping spot to be on. So we were getting on Clubhouse, having these meetings like, what is it? How can we, kind of show who you are? And like, it came down to like splitting my personalities and showing the real me as a human being, not just an artist, but also my daily life,
Yeah.
So the Gemini Saga ended up encapsulating that. And yeah, we created a short film out of it. I flew Yaslin up from Florida. She got a couple of her friends that are really, really dope to fly up from Florida. We had a team of about like 15 people on set. It was really, really weird for me to be in front of cameras like that, acting.
Yeah.
Because I have never been like an actor. I had my good friend Ricky capturing all the sound. I relied a lot on my friends that we all didn't know what we were doing, but we all were just like, let's have fun with it. Let's see where this goes.
After watching the final product, I wouldn't have believed it. Like it looked like you guys really put it together super well.
Thank you.
And like, no spoilers, but there was a moment because we watched it earlier to obviously make sure that everything worked when we were checking sound and stuff. And like, there's a moment when Byron was like, yo, I relate to that super heavy. And it was that sort of like crossroad scene.
Making decisions.
Yeah, making big decisions. And like, there are a ton of artists in this room that I'm certain when presented with that scene are going to relate heavy to that. And like,
for sure. I was telling him that like every creative has to go through that.
Yeah.
We're living a life that we have to take care of our responsibilities, but then we also have this artist life where we really, really want to make this work. But how can we make it work when we have all this going on? You know, that's always the question that we refer back to. It's like, I got to pay rent. I got this, that, and the third. But the artistry takes a whole nother income. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to release a project, like you got to have some money to make it work.
Mm-hmm. And time. And, there's only 24 hours in the day.
Time, energy. So it was really just on that, how do I split my time up? Yep. And it was me getting frustrated at myself. Like, do I go this way and like just handle my responsibilities and not worry about this artistry shit because, I don't have enough time or energy or money? Or do I just follow my heart and really, really put everything into my creative being? Yeah. And like, whatever happens over here happens.
Yep.
And
just dive in.
That's kind of the decision that like I continue to be on.
Yep.
I continue to be on till this day.
As many times as you make it, you always got to keep making it.
Yeah, man. And at this point, like, look at this, bro. Like,
absolutely.
This is nuts to me.
Absolutely.
This is so crazy to me. So I appreciate y'all for coming again.
Hell yeah.
This is so crazy.
And then, I guess the follow-up question to that is, we thinking an after midnight short film or what's good?
Actually, that's in the works.
Hell yeah,
that's in the works. So everybody who did grab a ticket tonight, I appreciate y'all, but that's definitely going straight to the after midnight short film that we're working on. This one is going to be a little bit more in depth now that we learned so much from the Gemini Saga short film, and like we're taking from that and being like, okay, this didn't go right, so let's make sure these things go right, and sculpt it so that everything runs smooth. Absolutely. I mean, as smooth as possible.
Yeah, every time you go through it, you're going to be able to streamline it more and more and have more time to add more fun stuff to it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Byron?
So, I've had you on the podcast before, and we've chatted about a variety of things. We've collaborated on some good projects. For some of the people out there that might not know, like, where, how did this all start? How did we get here? Like, can you give me maybe an abridged version of, how you started out making music?
Started making music. Yeah, sure. So 9th grade, what was I, 14? Yeah, 14, I guess. I was just rapping on a microphone, hanging off of a hanger in my closet, and just having fun with it, not knowing what the fuck I was doing, but just having fun.
Yeah.
And then I actually ended up, I don't know where Kif's at, somewhere in this crowd. Kif and I and another person within my high school group started up a group called IAB, and it was called It's All Bullshit. Actually, Dom, you know about that for sure. And we kind of wanted to take this route of don't take us too serious because we're not probably too good, but we just are having fun with this.
Yeah.
So we did 3 mixtapes together. We handed it out at school, and we were probably the biggest laughing stock in the high school.
Yeah.
Which made me what happened? Yeah. This is Kif, by the way. Me, Kif, and another guy.
Yeah, give it up.
We started
Shout out,
rapping.
Kiv.
Yeah, real shit. So that kind of deterred me away from being the front man.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just engineer and produce. So I started learning how to engineer, produce. Ended up owning a recording studio downtown. If you guys know where Sugar Tank sits right now, across from Puff and stuff. That used to be my studio, along with Kif and Jamil and another guy who we had gotten on the team. And I just was engineering. And the point of that specific studio was to be able to open it up for kids in high school who didn't really have the funds, and we were doing $10 an hour sessions, just so that they could be able to come through and create, because that's who we were. We just wanted to create with people. It didn't last too long. It lasted a year. It taught me so much, man.
And that's still such a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
Even for it to be a year, 19 years old, you're just I'm going to make this sick space for people that just need it.
For sure. And that was my first time in the Lancaster newspaper. They were like, oh, yeah, these kids just opened up a recording studio. And we were recording books, audio books for the Blind Association right next to us.
Okay.
So we were just doing the most random things.
Yeah.
And Dom was throwing crazy parties. I was not throwing crazy. Dom was definitely throwing crazy parties. Some of y'all probably have been in there once or twice. But yeah, we were having fun with it, man. And it didn't end up working out the way that we anticipated. And then I was like, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah.
Here I am. I love music. I was going to Hack at the time.
Okay.
I was supposed to go for a scholarship at Immaculata to play soccer, but I didn't want to go there.
Damn,
I was
soccer.
kind of done with Catholic school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there my whole life. So
Soccer's sick, though.
love soccer.
Yeah. We should play sometime.
Well, I thought we were golfing.
We'll also golf,
we
yeah.
gotta golf.
Yeah.
I'm
I've
down
never
for both.
golfed before. So
I will
you're
take
supposed
you.
to be teaching me.
Let's go.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Leisure Lanes next Thursday.
Leisure Lanes has golfing?
They have a driving range.
Okay,
It's
okay,
super
yeah.
cheap. You just smack them, dude.
Hell yeah. Bowling balls or golf balls?
Both.
Okay. Fuck yeah, bro. Fuck yeah.
You'd mentioned that the album, the title After Midnight comes from obviously we made the connection with 1201, you being
Right.
born after midnight, but also
Right.
you mentioned that the tunes themselves kind of lend them, to be listened to at a late night, specifically on a long drive. Do you have a preferred nighttime drive spot that you just if you need to clear your head, that's where you're going?
That's a good question. I don't have a car anymore.
Heard.
So, you know what I'm saying? I'm working on it. But when I did have a car and I didn't total it, a few spots, bro. Just driving around Lancaster, the back roads,
side,
bro,
yeah.
is a vibe at
Absolutely.
night. It's a total vibe. You can see the moon. It's just a vibe. It's a vibe.
Oh,
So out in Peckway,
Yep.
Conestoga,
Yep.
that's kind of where I go.
There's a back way toward from Millersville to Columbia. You know that right along the river. I really fuck with.
River Road.
Probably.
Yeah. That's a good one.
The Road of Rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Is it? Yeah. Well, aptly named. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just turn your music up,
Exactly.
roll it up. Smoke one.
I plan to do that once this releases.
Yeah, and join the Amish. Saying what's up to them.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's Lancaster though. I mean,
Exactly.
That's us.
Hell yeah.
We are Amish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By proxy, yeah. You're around a long.
Laddie is Amish too. So.
Look at that beard.
Hey.
Cannot be Amish
Originally.
with that beard.
Rumspringer gotcha. Hell yeah.
kind of like tying it back into the project itself. So 3 songs. What led you to pick those 3 out of all the other tracks that you got kind of in the vault?
They just had the same sound. They had the same vibe to me. I'm gonna get a little bit more into the records when we play them, the background and like where I made them and stuff. But each of them have a very special place in my heart. Gotcha. And like listening back to them, I can't stop thinking about like just driving on those back roads and like seeing the moon and just it being that type of vibe when I listen to them. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to throw this type of release party, because I wanted people to experience it and not just listen to the album. Right. This is like the first time I've ever done something like this for myself. You know, some of my friends set up like a surprise Gemini Saga party for me, which was super fucking dope. But this is the first time that I actively went out and tried to like let people know, like, hey, I want you guys to come in and enjoy this experience with me.
Gotcha. Yeah. And how did you find this place? This place is really neat.
A long connection of people. So my guy Josh here, right in the back, I saw him and Dom just standing outside of this place, and at the time, Jahir had lived on this block. Okay. Well, I guess we still live on this block, but so I was passing by, parked the car, passing by, and I saw them in here. I'm like, oh, let me check this out. I always thought it was like a closed studio, like you weren't allowed in here. Gotcha. Just passed by, and I'm like, oh shit, this looks cool, but I don't know if I could go in.
Yeah. It's a great vibe for sure.
So they invited me in, and I met Libby, who ended up introducing me to her husband John, and Libby Modern. So it's called Modern Art. Woo. Libby,
right here.
Yeah, give it up for Libby.
And her husband John Modern in the back. So you know, I had seen a couple things. MFE had a little thing here not too long ago for their Songs for Justice album, the volumes that they're doing. Okay. So I came in here and just saw like what was possible, and I was like, wow, what if I could just throw something in here? What could I do? What event? And you know me, I love events. Yeah. I love events. Yeah. That's why ripple effect is a thing. But yeah, bro. So I just saw the opportunity to throw something a little bit more intimate than I usually do, because usually we're on a stage and we're performing and everybody's right. But I wanted it to be more of a low key, intimate, personal vibe, 1-on-1. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Connection of people in here.
Very dope. Well, speaking about the people in here, we got a couple minutes left here. We wanted to open up the floor for any questions from the audience that you have for Alex. If anybody,
we got one back there. Yeah, Sir Dominic George.
Here, come up.
Come grab a microphone.
In the mic.
All right.
You can just say it.
I'm just saying right here.
Yeah, just say it.
Well, I mean, it's really simple one. Libby, is everyone welcome in here now?
Yeah.
Because it does, like, even low key, I didn't really realize everybody was in here when I first got here. But yeah, so everybody's welcome.
Secret.
It's a vibe, guys. So make sure you tap in.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
And this space is so ever changing. I was in this place like 4 years ago for some weird like improv music thing that I didn't really quite understand. Libby, do you remember that? Yeah, like the evolution of sound. Yeah, Scott Bookman was like, "Yo, you should come do this," and I had no idea what it was. And it's just like 12 different artists, and then one person plays, and then another person comes up, and then that person leaves, and then you're stuck up on stage, and then someone else comes up. And it didn't look anything like this room, and it's sick.
Was it a string of like continuous?
Yeah, and then by the end of it, it was like all 12 of us like on stage just making weird noises. It was super cool.
Hell yeah. What did you do? Can you reenact it?
I played drums.
Oh, okay.
So I have no drums in front of me, so I can't. I would if I could.
Darn. I thought it was like interpretive dancing or something.
I'm sure there was.
I feel like you would be the type to do that, bro.
I can't dance.
Oh, for real?
Me neither. All my rhythms in my hands and feet. I got nothing in my hips, dude.
Yeah, my rhythm, I don't know. No. It's just not there for dancing, but...
Anybody else in the crowd got some fun questions?
Oh, go ahead.
No, I wasn't.
Okay. What's your favorite song on the Gemini Saga, and then what's your favorite song on the Midnight or After Midnight project?
So my favorite song on the Gemini Saga. That's. I mean, both of them are hard questions, but I think that at first it was Houston Love. That was like my favorite record on the project. But then I released the deluxe version, and I think Moving Too Fast ended up becoming my favorite because it was so different from me. It was just like it was just a vibe, overall vibe, and I feel like it fit on the Gemini Saga. And the piece that was done at the end of the Moving Too Fast record is actually a girl from South Africa that I had been following for a while. And she just does poetry and like she releases her own music and stuff. It's not like someone who's super well known, but I enjoyed her work. And I reached out to her and I said, hey, I have this idea. And I sent it over to her and she fell in love with the record. And she sent me that back and I was like, yeah, like it was just like right, you know? So Moving Too Fast is my favorite on there for that reason. And then another one for After Midnight. So my personal favorite is our record, the Late Night Options joint. I feel like that encapsulates After Midnight, right? I feel like the sound in itself, it just like says After Midnight. But Expensive Taste is like another one that is like really in my heart. So yeah, I say let's go with Late Night Options.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had another human? No? Okay.
Vibing.
Oh, that's
My
fine.
guy.
You can still dance.
You got one?
Fee?
Where do you, like, as an artist, find inspiration?
Where do I find inspiration? Life. All walks of life, honestly. I feel like a lot of my inspiration recently has been more like uplifting and empowerment type of stuff. Maybe not directly with After Midnight, but just some of the things that I talk about with the kids in different classes that I do. I feel like I draw inspiration from these young kids who like don't really know what they're doing, and that's the beautiful part of it. Is like they don't have this preconceived notion of like, oh, I can't do that, or like you don't put that drum there, or you shouldn't say that as a lyric. You know, it's kind of inspiring.
But
like,
they have all the curiosity.
yeah, and they just wanna create.
Yeah.
So seeing that inspires me, and I'm like, let me just create, bro.
Yeah.
Let me not overthink this and think about what everyone else is about to think about this record. Let me just create, and however they receive this art is how they receive it.
Hell yeah.
So I feel like right now it's a lot within my work with the kids in the schools and things like that. But other than that, you know, my beautiful girlfriend and our relationship, definitely.
Hell yeah. Could I piggyback off of that a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So we talked earlier about you like you feel most inspired right when you wake up.
Yeah, for sure.
So like that's completely foreign to me. Just I wake up and I'm like, oh man, again? Come on. No, I'm just kidding. But like I do tend to find inspiration like later on in the day when like my brain is kind of churning a little bit, or like I find some things throughout the day, or I hear it, like I'll play a song and I'll be like, oh sick, like that makes me want to do this. But like what does it feel like, or like how does it hit when you're just like, I wake up and like you're like, oh, I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna track over this beat or whatever?
Yeah, so recently I've been waking up a lot at like 3 a.m.
Oh, so still after midnight.
Yeah, I mean, technically now it's after midnight,
Right.
to be quite honest. But I've been waking up a lot at 3 a.m. because I have so much that I take on at once that it just runs through my mind, and I'm just up thinking like, oh, I got to do this. I should probably get that done by Friday. Matter of fact, since I'm up, why don't I just check on my phone and make sure that, you know, this is done and like this email is sent out, and like I just have so much going on in my head that
Nice.
the time that I spend on my music is a time away from all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when I wake up, instead of just like cracking open my laptop first thing, sometimes when I get the time to, I like to just go in my basement, make some music, and forget like every responsibility that I actually have, just to make art, like just to be able to put something out.
Hell yeah.
And whether or not that comes out, it doesn't matter. It's just like, let me just get to it.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Got one back here.
Did you get out your comfort zone at all making this album? And if you did, how did that affect the record?
Good question, bro. So did I get out of my comfort zone making this project? I definitely did. I think that these records are different than the records that I've been making. So in different ways too. Production-wise, I've worked with a lot of different producers on this, being able to kind of expand my catalog that way. I'm in a different zone than I was when I released my last project, different headspace. So yeah, it definitely pushed the boundaries on me as an artist, and me using my voice more, me becoming more comfortable with singing, quote unquote singing, because I can't sing, but I just vibe. It's a vibe. Yeah, so definitely it pushed me to my limits. What was the second follow-up question?
How did it affect the record?
So yeah, like I sent this whole project off to a couple people before I even like decided to actually release it. And one of the responses that I had gotten is like, these records are so different for you. And I was like, what do you mean? And it was Tyler Dubé. She was like, that I just kind of like, I don't know, like I've grown as an artist, but me personally, I don't notice that because I'm just making music.
You're experiencing it day to
like
day,
I'm just
like,
experiencing it. So it's not like me actively thinking like, how can I make this record better than the last one? I'm just making records. And I have this like catalog of probably over 100 songs in my phone of just like random records. So sometimes I go back to those records. I'm like, okay, what did I like about those records? Can I pull from that record? Can I retrack that record and make it good for now? So yeah, that's I guess my answer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We got another one over here.
What is your end all be all with your music? Like, what goals do you want to accomplish?
So I definitely want to use it as a tool to be able to go across the world. That's actually why my name is Worldwide Wednesday. Originally, it was just a handle on Instagram, to initiate my want to get out of this country. I've never been out of this country. So I was going to make it, I promised myself I was going to make it out of this country through my music. And that's going to be possible within the next year. I'm really working on that. So to get across the world and experience different cultures of music, of people, communicate with different people, and inspire others, like that's probably my top. I know it sounds like cheesy, I guess, but yeah, to inspire others, to make sure that, you know, they believe in themselves as creatives. I feel like everything I do is kind of geared towards that, like just making sure that I can do something. Like I don't remember, I was talking to Riley earlier in here, but these types of things, like they're not regular, you know what I mean? Like we aren't regular people, and sometimes other people make us feel like regular people, you know what I'm saying? So releasing a project or having a party like this and celebrating yourself, because we don't celebrate ourselves enough when it comes to actually doing things like this, it's another step to inspire other creatives to say, hey, you can celebrate yourself. It's all right. We're not going to judge you. Like, this is a safe space for you to be able to create as well. And I feel like that's kind of the reason, that is the reason why I work with the kids so closely, because I can inspire them to just create and like be creative. You know what I mean? So just inspire.
Oh yeah. Nice. Great answer.
I think we've got time for one more.
Yeah, we got one more question. Oh, snap. Look at all these hands.
My question to you, bro, is what motivates you, Alex, the person, to go as hard as you go today? What's that drive? Where does it come from?
What motivates me? I would just say being better than I was yesterday. The simplest answer, being better than I was yesterday, because I feel like I've always had to prove things to other people, but now it's kind of switched to this point of like proving it to myself and making sure that I believe in myself and that I could really, really push myself to my limits. And sometimes it's way past the limits where I end up burnt out. She knows. I end up burnt out. And yeah, bro, I think that's the answer. Just like being better than yesterday.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Man.
Thank you.
Sweet.
This is a lovely chat.
Yep.
Great questions.
Thanks for
I
having me.
appreciate
answers.
you guys coming in here and doing the Earspace podcast, man.
Thank
Hell
you so
yeah.
My
much for
second
having
time
us.
being on here.
Hell yeah. Always welcome back.
It's always love, bro.
Our first
Yep.
endeavor.
Yep.
I think I'm
get
a
it,
better
bro.
co-host than
Hey,
I was last time.
Yeah, right.
and not for nothing, like this is not regular. I know I said it already. This is not regular, but y'all can do this too. Like anybody who's a creative or aspiring artist of any sort, this is just one lane that y'all can use to be able to get and gather people as a community and really inspire them to do something else too. So use it as a tool. Libby, thank you for allowing us to be in here. John,
Absolutely.
thank you for allowing us to be in here. And yeah, we're just gonna keep moving, whether people like it or not. That's what it is.
Oh shoot, yeah, Thursday. You want to plug the Thursday joint?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
You want to do it? Hit it, Byron.
So we have been collaborating on a thing every Thursday over at Rock 10 Productions, which is over off West Grant Street,
Just around
where
the corner.
we invite creators of all different kinds to come in and jam with us.
Whether you're a poet, bass player, guitar player, rapper, producer,
Yep.
beat maker.
Whatever you want to do.
Come hang.
Yep.
It's like a couple hours on a Thursday.
There's a sign-up sheet, so we allow 10 creatives to come in on a Thursday. We get to work by just like any producers in the room. They get to work. They show us their beats, whatever. Then we just hop on the mic. We make something. We just create something so that we could collaborate and have this community of people who are just feel comfortable making stuff. Like that's the whole point, right? So July, we're gonna actually have a show at Upside Lancaster, where we're going to be opening that platform for all of the creatives that we're working with every Thursday to perform as well. So if you're a creative, Thursdays, hidden sessions over at Rock 10, usually 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. I know that's work time for a lot of people, but if you are available, we always have it every Thursday.
We could shuffle some stuff around.
There we go.
I mean, yeah. Links in our bio.
Yep. Find it
Yeah,
out.
Byron's like, no, we can't. I'm like, it's my band that rehearses afterward. I'll just tell them to stop.
We will. We'll see about the times, but get in touch with us and come make some music and hang out. It's fun times.
Yeah. Speaking of tunes, are the next segment we're gonna listen to the album straight down.
Actually, we're going to get into the Gemini Saga
the
short
short
film.
film.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
into the short film.
Hell yeah, let's rip it.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Rock and roll.